Well, first of all, as a whole, I'm a Liberian, will always be, and it's been a long time. This is the longest I've been away from home. So coming home was something that I fervently and decidedly look forward to, and I'm glad that I'm here. As you are very well aware, I'm also going to be running for senator of Montreal County, and I'm going to be throwing myself quite significantly into the effort to elect Joseph Yumongwaka as president. So I have two primary objectives, and that's why I'm here.
So you'll be here up to October?
I will be going back and forth, mobilizing resources abroad, because there's nothing here. There's no money here. There's nothing here. Nothing's happening here. So, but I will be, yeah. So.
A lot of persons following will want to know how did you leave Liberia, especially through Sierra Leone? You can't tell us about what exactly happened?
Well, of course, that's something everybody should know. But just give you a quick recap of it. So I came here on December the 19th, 2019 for our protest, which was originally slated to be held on the 30th of December of that same year. Unfortunately, when I arrived, I heard that we were planning to confiscate my passport. They were threats that I would be arrested. And so when I got to the airport, I presented my laissez-passer to the folks at the airport. They made absolutely no issue. They allowed me to enter the country. And after several weeks here, and we stayed. But the signature was not authentic. Now, how would I access their laissez-passer booklet in their vault at the passport division? How would I obtain one? If you had said it was the booklet was fraudulent, the signature, everything was fraudulent, but they didn't say that. So that's how I left.
Who took you through the borders?
Oh no, I will not disclose that to you. That's something I will not tell you. Maybe 20 years from now, I will declassify and I'll write a book about it or something like that. But not right now.
Okay, you've told us your intention to contest in these elections, specifically in Montreal. What has prompted you to?
Well, I wouldn't say it's my intention. I think it's what the people want, and I'm simply beckoning and to the people's will. Since after the very historic and overwhelming victory of Senator Dillon in 2019, the people decided to draft me for this. And then again, we got re-elected in 2020. When I say we, I mean the opposition camp. We took Maserati from CDC twice, not once, twice. So we control this town. We in the opposition, and so the people want us, and I took a good time. I considered it. I discussed it with my family, my friends, and my supporters, and they're with me. And so I made my pronouncement a few months ago that I will be running for Senator of Maserati County.
Particularly, I'm interested in knowing what are your strengths, what are your reliances, Because these are about constituents,
Oh.
constituencies, strongholds.
Oh, I agree with you.
You're talking about Senator Sir Joseph.
I'm a son of Monserrate County. Sir Joseph is Walofa. Don't forget that. I was born and bred in this county. I'm a Pelham man, where I'm from, right here in this county. That's where I'm from originally. He's not from here originally. So if you're talking constituency in that sense, then I am more original to Monserrate than he
You
is.
will argue that you participated in an election that you did not win, even though you were birthed here in
George,
Monserrate.
we have participated in elections and lost twice, not once. 2005, he was whooped. 2011 as VP, he was also whooped. Then he went down. He downgraded several steps below before he finally became senator and made his right out. So losing an election is not indicative of future potential losses. No, you learn lessons and you build upon that.
What happened with that election? What did you learn?
I learned a lot, and I'm grateful to God that I lost that election.
Really?
Yes, I am, Kelvin. I say that to you honestly. I'm grateful. You know why? Because the Costa that I am today is not the same Costa that I was in 2017. I'm more mature. I have developed I'm more developed academically, growth-wise, maturity-wise, and all. And my brand is a more powerful brand today. If I had won the election, Kelvin, it would have interrupted my academic sojourn in the United States. I would have had to, return to Liberia or stay here and maybe continue my school online, which I didn't want to do. Perhaps I would not have been able to, go and acquire my master's degree, and all that kind of stuff. And so lots of things have happened for me as a result of losing that election. And I think God wanted me to not win so that I would focus on certain things that are very important and prepare myself and be elevated to a level where I believe I am now.
My colleague Vesely is also here. He wants to ask you some questions.
Vesely.
Yeah, Henry, good morning.
Good morning.
To have you.
Same here. Thank you.
I know you've announced your intention to contest in Monserrate County. I'll begin first by asking you, what are the things that you see that are clearly wrong that you intend to fix?
Lots of things, my dear brother. The legislature is a place for serious-minded people. It is a place where people who have policy ideas. My first degree is in public policy. Aside from that, we have been, we understand the issues, we understand the problems that the people face in this country. The problems we face in this country largely stem from the ineffectiveness and the docile and lackadaisical attitude of people in the legislature. They are complicit and they are part and parcel of the corruption, of the incompetence that we experience. We need a legislature that makes laws that benefit the people, a legislature that passes or ratifies a budget that is people-centered, a legislature that holds the executive branch accountable, that ensures that officials in the government do what they ought to do. What we now have is not that. We have a docile, complicit, indulgent legislature that gives the president whatever he wants. The guy I'm trying to replace has never crafted any single bill. I already have 3 proposed pieces of legislation in my head. Before I'm senator of Monserrate County, those bills will be crafted and I will propose them that will benefit not just citizens of Monserrate County, but the entire county. So let that gentleman go and run his war buses, let him go and run his community college, let him go and run his trucking company, and let a real person who has real ideas, real solutions driven around the interests of the people go and represent the people in the Liberian Senate.
Now that the legislature is down to numbers, Henry, you're going to be one person. You're not going to influence the remaining 29 just by what you do or say.
That is correct. But what do they say in the famous Chinese proverb? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. You need many more people like me, like Senator Dillon, like other well-intentioned sons and daughters in the legislature, who I'm very sorry are in a very insignificant minority in order to effect that change. But more than that, you need loud and powerful voices there who perhaps can influence other docile members of the legislature to grow some spine and stand up for their people. People who can name and shame their colleagues to make them do what's right.
A lot of the lawmakers are people from the opposition bloc. What have you to say about that?
They're not opposition.
They are opposition
in reality. They are opposition in name, but they are indulgent, complicit, corrupt lawmakers in practice. That's what they are.
I don't see you talk to them. I don't see you talk about them.
Oh,
I don't see you frown
I
them.
blast them all the time. You're so mistaken. I'm ashamed of some of the very people in my own party, the ALP. I'm ashamed of them. Yes, I'm ashamed. They vote for everything the president wants. I'm ashamed of many of the people in the Unity Party who are legislators. I say this all the time. I don't believe in political parties, gentlemen. I believe in the interests of the people. Political parties were not created in this country to serve the people's interests. They were created as a vehicle to bring people to power. Until political parties are truly built around the ideological values that promote the collective interests of the Liberian people, I do not believe in them. Why I belong in one, I do not believe in them. I believe in political parties in America, political parties in advanced democracies that work for the people, but not political parties here. You, just because you're from a party does not mean that you represent what the party supposedly stands for. So yes, even people in the Unity Party are themselves disappointed by what some of their elected officials do.
What are those bills you intend to?
Oh, one of them is going to be something I propose to call the National Healthcare Reform Act. One of the fundamental issues we have in this country is healthcare. Our life expectancy is one of the lowest in the world. Liberians don't live long, Calvin. You know that. Why is that? Because the quality of healthcare in this country is fundamentally poor. We don't have, when you have certain medical conditions in this country, you cannot access treatment here. You would have to fly abroad. Most Liberians cannot afford to buy a plane ticket to fly to Ghana or Europe or America to access healthcare. So my bill, called the Healthcare Reform Act, would be to fundamentally overhaul the healthcare system by doing what? Number one, we're going to levy what we call a sin tax on alcoholic beverages and tobacco products. We will then raise all our money, and it will go into a special fund. From that fund, we would then secure the services of specialist medical doctors from Cuba. They have the best healthcare system in the world. They may be terrible in other areas, but healthcare, they're number one, even better than the United States. We will bring Cuban doctors here who are very good and very affordable. We will provide housing for those doctors, epidemiologists, cardiologists, urologists, neurosurgeons. So we'll bring the specialist doctors here, and then we would take Liberian medical students and send them to Cuba and other parts of the world to specialize in these exact same fields, so that upon their return, they will be able to do exactly what these Cuban doctors can do. So that if John Brown has a certain medical condition which currently cannot be treated yet, that Cuban doctor will be able to perform that surgery here with equipment that we procure from proceeds generated from the levying of those sin taxes. We will now be able to do those things right here at home, and you will not go bankrupt or die in this country if you're sick. This is something that will not only benefit citizens of Monserrato, but the entire country. Those doctors will be deployed across major hospitals across the country so that they can be able to treat all Liberian citizens to go there. Mom Mary can go to a hospital and have an open heart surgery by some of the best cardiologists in the world, or heart doctors in the world, without paying 1 cent. You know why? Because every time Kelvin drinks a bottle of Shin Tao, he pays a few cents on that bottle of Shin Tao that goes into that account that pays that Cuban doctor to provide that operation or that service to Mom Mary without paying 1 cent for it. That Healthcare Reform Act is something that even it would not add a $1 additional stress on the national budget. It will be funded purely and solely by the levying of sin taxes. That's one. That's something that will help to increase the quality of our people's lives, and by extension, the lifespan of our people.
I'm concerned on our next slate, the CPP. A lot of persons believe that you are the root cause, or one of the persons who created a divide today in the opposition bloc, an institution that many Liberians saw as a beacon of hope. I thought there was a perfect opportunity where you to tell us what exactly went wrong.
It is a myth. It is fallacious. It is ridiculous. It is fantastically foolish for anyone to propagate that I, a mere talk show host, an advocate and chairman of a pro-democracy organization, with no political portfolio whatsoever in any of the four political parties, could have possibly influenced or staged a coup d'etat within a collaboration of 4 political parties, 4 political leaders. It makes absolutely no sense. Anyone who says that is also equipping me to be even more powerful than the 4 political leaders, because I am not that powerful. So I did not. The reason the CPP did not hold was because of the Machiavellian shenanigans of some of the political leaders within the CPP. It was not because I, Henry Costa, did that. People were trying to undermine, undercut, using cash violence, as we say here in Liberian parlance, to, postulate and project themselves as the face of the CPP, not through the regular conventional democratic means. And so that engendered a culture of distrust within their ranks. And it is integrated because of that. And we are glad that we left. So I would have loved for the CPP to stay together, where we went to a democratic convention. And if Joe Buckeye won democratically, we would support him. If Mr. Alice Cummings won, we would support him. But I was not prepared to see a process where one individual using his financial wherewithal to influence and undermine the democratic process in order to impose himself on the rest of us. That's something I did not support.
And that was Alice Cummings?
Well, I'm not going to name names. You already know that.
Why you really want to name names?
But you already said it.
But you predicted.
Okay, but why didn't you call it? Why didn't you call you his name?
Because
you know the answer. Because you know the answer.
Because you're still close to Mr. Hewitt. You're still close to former Vice President Joseph Buckeye. Yeah. But you know more with Alice Cummings.
I have nothing against Mr. Cummings. I think Mr. Cummings is a very smart man. I think he's done very well for himself. I respect and admire what he's accomplished. Tremendous accomplishment. Look, the level at which Mr. Cummings attained or reached in corporate America is remarkable, Kelvin. It is. It's a very difficult terrain.
You predicted the fall of the CPP, the collapse of the CPP.
I did.
So how did you know? You on record for saying
I simply deploy my.
You are going to make sure that this does not hold because of reasons that you provided.
Because I was convinced, when I became convinced, Vesely, that the CPP, rather than holding and providing an opportunity to put a united opposition forward against George Weah, when I was convinced that it would not hold, I felt the best thing to do was to withdraw. And I advocated for the withdrawal of my party, the ALP, and the Unity Party, a party that I support. And I'm not going to say because I said it, that's why I did it, but I know how much pressure I put on my political leader and the political leader of the Unity Party, whom I support for president. And they left. And I wasn't the only one who advocated for that, but I went out there publicly and built a groundswell of support by providing the reasons, the raison d'etre for why we should leave. And we left. And I'm very glad about that.
You're glad about that?
I am.
Is this helpful from the look of things?
We will still
a lot of persons are. I say that. I mean, the collapse of the CPP. I mean, we're frustrated. We think we're going to make President Weah, a second-term president.
Well, President Weah will not win. President Weah has successfully campaigned against himself. I came to this country, Kelvin, when George Weah won the election in 2017, was inaugurated in 2018. He was an extraordinarily popular man. Today, that is not the case. Mr. Weah is extremely unpopular. He is extremely isolated. He is in a cocoon. Mr. Weah lives in a delusional state. A utopia that has been created by people closest to him, and he believes that he can win. And Mr. Weah will be defeated, and Mr. Weah will be given a red card. Since he's a footballer, I'm pretty sure he understands that better. So we'll give him a red card, and we'll take our country back, and we'll give it to a decent, honorable statesman in Joe Buckeye to help us restore the years that the locust ate.
Henry, you talk about popularity. I'm interested in that because without a doubt, you organized and staged one of the biggest, if not the biggest, pro-democratic protests, for lack of a better word, here on 2 occasions, and the numbers were very, 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 very huge. You also had a rapturous welcome the first time you came to Liberia. Comparing that to when you recently arrived, and since you've been here, your recent public appearances, do you see a diminishing popularity on your part?
No, to the contrary, I see an increase in popularity, and it's thanks largely to the malaise which this incompetent government has put us in. The people, our message has resonated. People call me the political prophet because of how we have, the things we said that would happen are happening, and people, our message is more believable because people are living in reality. When I came and initially when I arrived at RIA, there were those who thought that no one would be there to receive me. Later on, I saw people, a few thousand people on the streets of Monrovia. They marched from Vamuma all the way to the Unity Party headquarters, and that's just remarkable. That's very humbling. And so we are still very much popular with the people, and that's something I say with utmost humility. And so we are harnessing that popularity to help democratically retire this president and usher in a new government that would serve the interests of the Liberian people.
Is Senator Dillon still your campaign manager?
Senator Dillon is a very good friend. As a matter of fact, this evening we're having dinner at his house. My dear brother, Chairman Maurice Dukley here, Chairman of the Minnesota chapter of the COP, and all my 13 or 14 other members of our delegation from the U.S. We will be having dinner at Senator Dillon's house this evening. He's a good friend. When he was in the States the other day, we hung out together, and yes, Senator Dillon will still be my campaign manager in 2023.
The airport is a stone throw from Montserrat County. Why did you sleep at the airport?
Who told you to sleep at the airport?
You said you came.
DC? You know how many DC I can hear, Gavin?
Didn't you sleep at the airport, Costa?
Gavin, why does it matter where I slept when I came?
Why did you sleep?
The day I came is the day I came. The day you saw me is the day I came. What matters is I'm here.
Let's talk about your second and probably most important reason for which you're in Liberia. Talking about your support for former Vice President Joe Walker. People say the ALP that you are a part of undermined the CPP right from its onset by you waiving your rights as a political party to the Unity Party in your support for Joe Walker. And since then you stuck with that. I know that you're very unapologetic for that. What makes you think this former Vice President can make a better president than George Weah?
Vasily, good point. You said we waived our right to contest for the stand membership of the CPP. My political leader, Honorable Uri, said publicly that I have no interest in running for president. So I'm going to be supporting Joseph Walker because I believe among the four of us, he's the most competent, he's the most experienced, and he's the most positioned, or better positioned. It was Mr. Uri's right. Vasily, you, Kelvin, and myself have something, and I decided I will waive my share of that thing to Vasily. How is that Kelvin's business? Eh? I have 33% share in the thing. I said, I'll waive it to Vasily. It is not Kelvin's issue to get that now. So why were they mad?
It creates an imbalance.
What imbalance? It is my right, Vasily. Our pa left 1 acre of land for us. We are full. I said I will give my 1 lot to my brother. How is that the issue, the concern of my other siblings?
Talking politics here.
Oh my, but I didn't think about it. They were full. Okay, we say we'll give our support to Parker. But anyway, the other question he asked, what makes Joe Parker better compared to George Weah? The answer is very simple. Mr. Weah has been president for 5 years. Not once has he addressed this nation in a press conference. Mr. Weah, when major national issues are happening, Mr. Weah does not speak. The level of corruption in this country is rampant. Don't quote me, quote the Americans, not me. They're right up here. They've sanctioned officials in this government for corruption. More sanctions will come for corruption. Mr. Weah has not had a one-on-one meeting with the President of the United States of America. He is the first Liberian president since in 40 years, the first Liberian president to have not been invited to the White House, except Charles Taylor, who we all know for obvious reasons why he was not invited. Mr. Weah went to the U.S. recently. Liberia passed on the MCC scorecard for the first time in 5 years. But Liberia missed out on a potentially hundreds of millions of dollar package. And what does that tell you? All the other countries that passed received $9 billion in total. Liberia did not get 1 cent. This government is corrupt, this government is ineffective, and this government needs to be retired. Like I said, don't quote me, quote the Americans. Every day you hear the Americans say the government is corrupt. Did you hear this much? Ellen was very corrupt. Ellen Johnson was very corrupt. But did you hear that much criticism from the Americans? No. This government, the Americans have made a decision. Mr. William must go. They want him out of power. They consider his government a threat to U.S. national security interest. That is why these sanctions are coming. When they sanctioned the folks for the passport issue, there were criminals using Liberian passport to go to the United States and potentially do all kinds of things. That's why the U.S. Secretary of State at the time, Mike Pompeo, sanctioned the passport directive then. So this government is a pariah, and the international community wants to have absolutely nothing to do with them. So Mr. Weah has brought a disgrace to our country. We need to retire him and replace him with a decent, honorable man who has an impeccable character in Joseph Yuma Boakai.
His name is Henry Pedro Costa. He's the head of the CPP.
COP.
The COP, rather. Too fast. He's the head of the COP, the Council of Patriots. And we are here, Vesely Smith and Kelvin Demi. And we are doing this show together. Vesely, I will advise that you look at their live. There are some questions there that we should be asking Costa. Once you see them necessary, you can just push them forward. And so this is Prime FM 105.5. We broadcast with Central Studios from Central Monrovia, just right beneath the U.S. Embassy. And the time check is about 9:29, and we are right here. So, Costa, the future of the parties now that you have relationship with are the Unity Party, a part of the Liberty Party, and of course,
not a part, the real legitimate Liberty Party headed by my sister, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence.
And who's the chairman?
The chairman is most ability, but he's a rogue chairman who has become a renegade that we will rein in and we will put him in the doghouse.
And of course, the ALP that you are a member of. There are conversation about the vice standard bearer, the running mate to Ambassador Joseph Boakai. You are so very close, he listens to you. What are your options?
Well, when it comes to who becomes his vice president, I can only offer my suggestions, my recommendations.
I know.
But the former vice president will make that decision. Ultimately, it rests with him, and I trust his wisdom and his judgment implicitly. I have confidence in him, and he will make the right decision.
What are your whispers to him in relation to
no,
his
I have not mentioned anyone. Not even my own political leader have I recommended to the former vice president. No.
What are the options in mind?
In whose mind? His or
In
mine?
your mind.
Anyone he chooses.
I know. But what are your options?
I'm not going to tell you.
You influenced the divide in the relationship with the CPP.
What do you saying that, girl?
You know about that. What are your options? I mean, I'm not saying this is not Joe Boakai's option. What are your options? Who are those persons that you've considered for? Yes, that could be latest one.
I do not know exactly. Again, the final decision rests with him.
Energy is an issue. There are persons, your critics say that your preferred candidate for the presidency is old. He does not have energy. You can't tell us about your reaction?
Of course. Old is gold, just so you know. The older the wine, the better. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, they made the same argument that he's aged. Ronald Reagan was the first man to become president, the first oldest man to become president. He was 69 years old when he became president. And he won, and he got reelected, and he did a fantastic job. Ronald Reagan was the first president who took the American economy from hundreds of billions of dollars, the American national budget, to trillions of dollars. Joseph Human Boakai may be advanced in age, which is an advantage for us because the age that where he is ripe, he is experienced, he has seen it all, and he will be fully dedicated and committed to the country as opposed to himself because he's all about now building a legacy. So I think Joe Boakai is at the right age, and you know, I mean, to take this country over and make it work for us and bring and restore our dignity among the community of nations.
Anyway, I want to take it back to your own ambition to become senator. You're up against Senator Sir Joseph. You've outlined several things you think makes him a very poor legislator.
He is.
But in this society, a legislator is not limited to what they do up Capitol Hill. And so Senator Sir Joseph has taken advantage of his quasi-legislative functions to carry out humanitarian works in his thinking. And that has resonated fairly with a good number of the people here in Montreal County. How much of an advantage do you think Senator Sir Joseph may have over you in this process?
The only advantage that Sir Joseph has is that he has access to a colossal amount of stolen money, which I don't have access to. But I also equally have access to a colossal amount of committed, dedicated, loyal people who want better for Liberia. So that's the only advantage. Sir Joseph is also handicapped when it comes to articulating himself. That is something I don't have that's something I don't have a problem with. And so that's the only thing. Sir Joseph was not a wealthy man. Today he is. Do you guys not see that these guys have gotten wealthy right before our eyes?
Money for? I keep hearing you saying stolen money.
You've seen the man building colleges. The man has 2 technical colleges. The man has a trucking company. ArcelorMittal rents from Sir Joseph. Sir Joseph has a transportation business. He has tons of businesses. He has a construction company, getting government contracts. We all heard the recording that was played here, in which Sir Joseph is then negotiating to increase the director of the medical or pharmaceutical regulatory board. Yeah, asking Sir Joseph to inflate the cost of the project so that they can split the balance money. This man is corrupt. Why should a sitting senator have a construction company receiving government contracts? It is clearly and patently against the code of conduct. It's a criminal offense. Sir Joseph brings nothing to the table. He's a weakling. He is intellectually handicapped. He is not fit to be there. He has not proffered any argument that benefits the people of Montreal County. He is a hopeless disruptor, and he must be retired.
Do you believe he has some popularity?
He does. Everybody has some popularity, but that's comparative. But we have more popularity than he does.
You think so?
I know so. I know so.
Well, he has won elections in Montreal County.
Money does not win elections. If that was the case, Thomas Fala would have won. If that was the case, Polita would have won. When the people decide, you win based on the people. Money is more powerful when it comes to a handful of people. But money is not powerful when it comes to hundreds of thousands of people. So I just cannot pay everybody to vote for him. No. And who told you we don't have some money? Who told you we don't have friends that can raise money for us? We do. We do. We have friends. This trip we came on, do you think I have money to spend all this money moving around, all the cars, all these things? I don't. We have friends who believe in us, who raise money and give it to us to support us.
The future of your institution, Voice FM, where are you on that one?
Roots FM, you mean?
Roots,
Voice was the earlier one. Of course, you know George Weah is never going to give my radio station back. We're never going to get that from George Weah. But do we need a radio now? No, we don't even need it. They can have it. They can have it. We're still very widely money.
Peacefully, I would say, in a time since you came, you seem unbothered. Of course, why are you still concerned about the president being involved in the re-establishment of your institution, coming back on the airways?
Who told you they're going to give me? They have not even returned my equipment, Kevin. My equipment was over $50,000 US. They still have to have them. Somebody told me we had just built a recording studio, and We just built it. We hadn't even opened the studio, and this took all of our recording studio equipment. Somebody told me that's what we are using as a Jamaica resort to make those songs that he makes. My equipment.
You are making songs to
I was about to start making music.
Oh, really?
Yes. We better record in the studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
We hadn't even opened the studio. They took all our equipment. I'm told that's what we are using. Expensive Macintosh broadcast equipment. Those very sophisticated equipment. That's what he makes those songs with. He should be giving me credit for
You spoke with the president. You announced your conversation with the president last year.
We talk all the time. He called me a couple of times
Since you came?
before I came. Oh, he's not going to call me now. He's pissed off. But one thing he said to me, no matter how pissed off he is with me, he's not going to block me. So I hope he keeps his word because I intend to piss him off to the fullest.
There's a question on our social media page. Someone's asking. This person says.
The name of the person.
Yeah.
Would you
Wama Kopo says, firstly, ask the guest, what has changed from Boakai being a dead man walking in a faith to lead a country of about 5 million people to being the best person to lead the country in under 6 years? And why should people believe him with this flip-flop argument?
Does he have business? Does he have business? Who will see? You want to bring rhetoric from 2017 campaign? Ask your next question.
No, that's the only question.
Okay, good.
So, are you saying that we shouldn't remember words said in the past?
2017, I was in the first round. We believed Boakai to be, we were campaigning all over the world. In a political campaign, you find ways to try to diminish your opponent, the person you believe to be your greatest threat. And you will conjure up all kinds of rhetoric. That's why nobody really takes seriously what people say during the campaign, except policy issues. But there are other things that you will say to try to weaken your opponent. And that's not something to use to bring up now. It is a CDC.
So with that said, people can now vote for Sir Joseph because this is the political season.
But those who want to vote for him,
the job
right.
at him,
Let them vote
people
for him.
who say, well, you said these things about President Weah before.
Let them vote for Sir Joseph, but Sir Joseph will not win. Will beat Sir Joseph in Montserrat County.
You sound pretty confident.
I'm very confident. You know why? Except you guys don't see what I see. CDC controlled this country for how many years? 12 years.
As an opposition party.
Huh?
As an opposition party.
Yes. The moment they came to power, what happened, Vesely? They lost it.
Unless Sir Joseph won while they were still in government.
No, but guess what? When did he get elected? A few months into, thank you. A few months into the administration. When did they lose? 1 year later, 2019. There you go. Diminishing return. They've been diminishing in popularity. Everybody whose hand George Weah raised for by-election since he came to power, except Sir Joseph, did he win? Everybody lost. Everybody who Weah supported lost. What does that tell you? Sir Joseph only won because they had only been in power for a few months when Sir Joseph won. Don't forget that. Sir Joseph runs now, he can. Thomas Fowler was popular. He won in District 5. How many times? 3 times. He ran for senator. His district, did he win in District 5? When he ran for senator, he lost District 5. What does that tell you? This man was elected 3 times in District 5. He ran for senator, he lost in his own district. It tells you CDC no longer controls Montserrat County. We do.
There could be other candidates, not just the incumbent Sir Joseph. For example, we've heard from Wilmot P.
Who is that again?
I said Wilmot P.
Ah, okay. Fine.
The former chairman of the party and the PLP.
I see.
Why are you writing off Wilmot P?
I wish him luck. Whoever that is.
You don't know the man?
Can we move on to another subject?
Why are you trying to write him off?
I'm not writing him off. I'm not going to waste my time on somebody who's not going to do anything.
You're bothered by Sir Joseph and not the rest of the other person.
Because Sir Joseph is the one who's in the seat that we are going to remove, not the other guy. The other guy is nowhere to be mentioned.
I'm concerned about your strongholds in Montserrat County.
My stronghold is everywhere, my brother. Everywhere where there are people, there are my people. Everywhere, my brother. Everywhere.
I've seen people criticize Mr. Cummings for making that same analogy. His stronghold is everywhere.
People say, no, you must have a particular...
Because Mr. Cummins is running for president, I'm running for senator. There's a difference. Cummins talked about constituency, which is important. When you're running for president, because you're running for the biggest office, you have to have a constituency somewhere. But when you're running for a legislative seat, you don't necessarily need a particular
For a
locale.
county as big as this.
But who told you? I was born in Kingsburg, born and raised there. That's district number 1, one of the largest constituencies in this place.
Not many people.
Eh? What do you mean not many people there? You know, a constituency, there are lots of things though. Your tribe too can be a constituency. You know that? I'm a Pele man. Not Balanu. We're the largest tribe in the country. We make up 20% of the population. So I have a constituency. What are you talking about?
What's your relationship with the people in West Point and Nuku Town?
Oh, I have friends in West Point. In my my organization, the COP.
You don't go there.
Many of our ardent.
A lot of places you visit.
Who told you I don't go there? I'm going to West Point.
No, I didn't say you are not going there. I said you don't frequent those places.
Do you frequent everywhere? When was the last time you were in West Point?
Oh, I was in West Point about 2 weeks ago.
Because you live,
No.
Because you've been here. So now that I'm here, I'm going to go there too. You will not have that on me.
Now, do you look forward, just before we go to the lines, Costa, there are conversation for the reconnection of Mr. Boaka and Cummins. Do you look forward to that?
I know well that conversation.
Even if, let's agree that you're not aware. But
and the fact that
there are
I'm not
people
aware
who
of
are craving for.
the fact that I'm not aware of it, it means that there is no such conversation. Because if there was one, I would be
So
aware.
you see, that's where the influence comes in.
I would be aware. There was no way Joe Boga would be talking to Cummins or anybody.
Why if there's an initiation? Why if you are approached?
If JMB believes that he should engage Mr. Cummins, I will be made aware of that. He would explain his reasons to me, and as he normally does, he will try to sell it to me for me to support it. And I trust his wisdom, I trust his leadership, that's why I support him. And I will support it, but there is no conversation as we speak.
If that is a conversation proposed about
If there is a conversation and JMB believes it's the right thing to do, I will support it.
you support it.
Yes.
Thank you.
But it will not emanate from me, it will have to come from him.
His name is Henry Costa. We have exactly 15 minutes to, so we can pick up calls for about 10 minutes. 1 minute per call. You can call us on +231 777 40 40 10. For those of you outside of Liberia, +231 777 40 40 10. Here you can call us on 0770 1051 0770 1051 51 or 777 40 40 10. Our prime guest is no other but Henry Costa. Vessel is small, and I'm Kelvin Debbie. We are your drivers. We'd like to give it up to the persons online, viewing this thing online, this show online rather. Prime TV is live right here, Castle of Patriots, and I hope Vessel can get the other online platform so that we can have it announced here. So let's go to the lines and hear from our callers. Please do not board the show. We want to take as many calls in 10 minutes. Let's hear from our first caller on the line. Good morning, your name and where you call from.
Thank you. And good morning to you and good morning to the Costa and happy new year to all that they this morning.
Go ahead, quickly please. Go ahead.
Quickly, my name is Sai Kumar and I joined the conversation from my candidate this morning. Let me say welcome back here, Costa, to the viewer. How put question for the first question I will do at the good 36B of the 1936 Constitution. We can say about for some of the content of the Constitution. We are lead big trial 1 year to election, but 4 quarters after 10 months to election. On the line, we recommend that. And quickly, so we recommend a critical ARP to go out to draft when we get to the draft president and I think
I think he addressed the latter. But anyways, he can choose which he wants to. Let's hear from that caller, then we take the diaspora call. Good morning, your name and where you call from? Good morning. Okay, so let's pick up this call right here. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelvin and Betsy, and good morning to my brother Aaron Costa. Dave Abbott, and I call from Brussels.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, Costa, considering that you are one of the most trusted confidant of JNB, if not the best member JNB. If JNB were to ask you, because I know that he's going to ask you to make some proposals, and right now he has your political leader Yuri in his camp. He has Yobli Kanga Lawrence in his corner. If there were to be a discussion to welcome Loki, and he told you, I have considered these three people. I want you, if he's not asking that you name, and he's obliging you to say, among these three people, considering my brand of integrity, I want you to name one of those people who you think can be the vice president meant to me.
Okay.
Who are you going to select?
Thank you very much. Let's hear from the next caller on the international line. Good morning. Your name? Okay, let me pick it up from right here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jordan.
Yes, go ahead. You're live.
This is Fernando.
Okay, calling from.
Thank you. This is Fernando. And I call from Morocco.
Okay, go ahead. You're live.
Well, I'd like to greet you at the studio here and you, Costa. Well, I don't know. Costa, I think he has created a kind of environment for himself where he doesn't get trust, confidence from people anymore when he speaks. This very Costa is the one that I did follow many years back when he staged that protest about this oil block issue being sold or that was to be rectified. He, Marcos, why others. Until he lied to the public on his show that all the orders of former Vice President Joseph Parker, the Zionist authority was asked to remove powerful leaders of the GMN company to be replaced by companies in powerful area. Until that was the raffle information came that it was on the order of LFA's president. It wasn't Vice President Joseph Parker asked for following him. But this is the Costa whose current academic credential I'm questioning at this moment. And I challenge Costa in this public space and manner to provide a single document that he has obtained a degree already in the US.
Okay, says what have you to discount his credentials? You're just challenging him. He is saying that he graduated from Wimbledon. What have you to say to the Liberian people that Costa is not saying the truth about his academic credentials? Good morning. Hello, are you there? Okay, he left. Yeah, go ahead. You said what? Oh, too bad. Well, the line. Yeah, I didn't get you. You said what?
Hello?
Yeah. You said what? Oh, too bad. We lost him right there. Let's hear from the next caller on the line. Good morning.
Thank you, my good friend. Thank you. Let me say good morning to my local brother, President. Let me say good morning to your guest. Welcome back, no one like you, the supporter. This is the Happy New Year to everyone. You are in there. Look, Aaron Costa is very interesting. I like to listen to him because he's full of rhetoric. When he's speaking, he say, yeah. This man, he talks about the things. Look, tell you, we need to be serious. I always tell you that these things. People need to be serious in this country. Look, that is the beauty of the democracy that everybody enjoys. Even nobody knows you, even you, whosoever you want to contest. And the democratic space is the right of Aaron Costa. But the only issue about Aaron Costa for some of us and no questioning is that he's clean to be clean, that he has no debt. Look, that a lot of ways to get a lot of money from people that you want to bring in to say you want to run for the Senate, to have support here and there, they will generate money. We know how more money business. Look.
So what is your issue? He said that he's contesting. Yeah, he said he's contesting. So I don't understand.
He said that he's contesting, but you heard me saying that because when you question him to say he got money to run, he said that he has people, he's going back to America, they're going to try to look for money, and he told him that Sajota is for us. All
People depend on people, you know, even government depend on other stations, other countries, you know, to help in certain sectors. Nobody is an island. So he's very honest to say he does not have money. What's wrong with that? He's depending on friends and other institutions to help him.
My argument, no, what I try to put that on because you try to present a threat to the Nigerian people. I know Nigerian people know.
But what is wrong with that? That I don't have money and I'm depending on people like Zezepiwi to support.
Now, what is Zezepiwi?
Look, I'm just sat here.
They got a funny guy.
No, because I'm in a conversation with Zezepiwi. Go ahead.
No, Kevin, my point is that he's trying to think Sir Joseph to the public that the money that Sir Joseph earning or having is corruption. And he's not getting the money the rest of it. He here doing this, he here doing that. That is my issue.
Okay.
So I really want to go to...
Okay, thank you. We have to take orders. We have to take orders.
Just a minute. I really want to go to Honorable Parker because we know why Costa talk about it. Oh, man. But anyway, we say that what people say in 5 years,
Okay.
people cannot hold them back.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from the next caller on the line because we have a lot of persons calling. Good morning. Your name, where you call from? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you're live. Quickly, please.
My name is Abraham calling from downtown.
Go ahead, Lasana.
You know, the people of Montreal County have withdrawn to vote leader at their next level because the guys are there, they are not doing well for this country. For instance, I do that in block voltage and we have a lot of voltage in this country, the bodies are dying. I was expecting I do that as the chair of executive in the Senate to enlarge budget for it, 4 budgets for them to fix it. When you went in, bring a budget and you pray for the best, that you put a photo budget so that, oh, we write a picture that the system will go to here and give it. So when people have resolved it, all say they see me, President William said, if you see me on there, there are people that have the right to see me on. So the people have resolved now to go for, they have a better contact at the next level of Montreal. Thank you for your time.
But Costa used the buses on the day he was arriving in the country.
That is not true.
But you didn't use the
Why
bus.
would I give Sir Joseph money? You already.
You didn't use the bus?
No, we did not.
The one with Sir Joseph pictures?
Of course not. Why would I do that, Kevin? Come on, man. That's okay.
Okay, let's hear from this.
That joke-
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're live.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Joe Kirui and I'm I call from Minnesota this morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're live. Quickly, please.
Okay, my question to Mr. Costa is, in 2017, Mr. Costa said, Honorable Joseph Walker was visionary a dead man walking. In 5 years, now he's calling Joseph Walker a man who was a dead to our presidency. When Joseph Walker was visionary and leader to become a visionary person.
Okay.
Number 3, I want to provide services about Sir Joseph. I want to go move against Sir Joseph when he started the campaign in 2011. I was very Iron Party. Sir Joseph went to Iron Party and invited us to meet judges where he's in the college now. We started the foundation for 2011. So for every person to come on Joseph to say that what Sir Joseph stole money, no. I have not in the Joseph, you know, all the Sir Joseph. Or Sir Joseph not to any time. The men start getting my college.
Okay, thank you very much. We have to take others. Thank you so very much. Let's hear from this international caller right here. Good morning. Good morning. Your name, where you call from? Come. Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, no lie. Go ahead. He's listening. Just go ahead. You calling from where? Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from, no lie? Sudan? Oh, Abidjan. Okay, go ahead. Okay. So you're recommending, you're advising that he runs in district number 6? Okay. Thank you very much. That's Nolai Kamara there from Abidjan. Let's take this one, then we squeeze in the very last one. Good morning, your name and where you call from?
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, quickly, please. Time. Yeah.
Kevin, my name is Costa, and I joined the conversation from this one of the day. Let me use this medium to welcome Henry Costa by and inform every one of us through this medium that it is the democratic right of every citizen in this country to contest for any political position. And so we welcome the fact that Henry Costa is about to exercise his democratic rights. For me, I'm not going to discourage anybody who will harbor the intention to contest for a political seat in this country. So long as it meets the criteria set by the National Elections Commission,
Okay. Hold on.
contesting. So we are saying the space are being created, democratic space are being created, and everybody has the right to participate. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take the last caller from overseas. Let's hear from this last caller. Good morning. Quickly, please, to our last caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, quickly.
Yeah, I'm Blama Kumara calling from Italy.
Yes, Blama, go ahead.
We have to grow up from this stream, we have to grow up. Because the high rating Labrador is too much. The Labrador are suffering too much. When you are in Liberia, you don't know what Labrador are suffering. But when you are out of Liberia, you see Labrador are suffering a lot. There is time for Labrador to make a change. There is time for Labrador to wake up and have a good leader. I think Jobia is an incapable man. If competent was okay, Jobia should be given a higher grade of incompetent. Because he is too competent. He is not so competent with the task to rule Liberia. Because there's higher rate is suffering. All those people who speaking out of both kind of class, speaking out of things, we know what we know in Liberia. We are Liberian, our born and grow up in Liberia. So Liberia, we should grow and we should grow up for this dream. Liberia with this higher rate is too much. I think Costa is the one of the men who will deliver Liberia for the kind of higher rate and with the Joseph Worker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That ends it right here. I'm not taking any more calls. You listen to the concerns in order of importance and priority. Whoosh.
Well, I mean, most of them were comments. Some of them were very ridiculous. Some of them really had nothing to say. And I want to thank all our supporters who called. And I appreciate you. And we'll do this together. We will win the presidency for Joseph Boakai, and we will win the Senate seat for myself, the Honorable Seventh, Henry Costa. So, Kevin, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. I think I had a great time.
Finally, will you submit yourself to a primary if you are asked to? Because
if my party is doing a primary?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. If anybody else in my party wishes to contest for the Senate seat of Maserati County, and my party wants to primary us, I would.
What has Mr. Boakai said to you? You've told him that, hey, Abe, Chief, I'm throwing my hat in the race. Remember, they're collaborating political parties. This is not just the ALP. You have the Liberty Party, the Unity Party, and of course, your ALP. The Unity Party has within its range options, people with intentions. When you told Mr. Boakai that you intend to throw your hat in the race, what did he say to you?
That's a good point. I informed him that I intend to run, and he understands that, and he thinks it's my right, and we haven't discussed further, what it's going to be like, but we don't have when I say we, I mean we, the three political parties, parties that affiliate. We do not have a framework thing in place. We're not a collaboration in terms of that structure. We don't have anything in place that binds us. So any of these other people can run, and even if we had one, they can still run. And we will see. But in my party so far, I'm the only one that is looking to run. In the Liberty Party, I do not know of anyone else who is interested in running. In the Unity party, there's someone who wants to run from there.
Who have you heard?
Well, I've heard of a gentleman, I wouldn't want to call his name now, but he intends to run, and it is his right to want to run, and we will see how that plays out.
You've told the party, you said, Chief, I'm supporting you. I'm all out for you in these elections. And so am I. So it's time to get the devil's due. So where are you, or where is he on that?
No,
Mr. Walker.
no.
Did Mr. Walker say, you're getting my full support?
Kevin, that sounds very transactional. I don't have that kind of, I don't do that. Oh, Kevin, you know I've been your man all along, man. You need to do this for me. But no, it sounds transactional. The relationship with me and VP, former VP Walker is beyond that. So some things are needless to say. I don't need to ask him for his support. You know, we'll see how things play out.
Okay, so it was great having you here. We look forward to more of these conversations. In fact, we're in a political year, so we will be calling you sometimes if the need arises. Sometimes we'll need to talk to you in person. His name is Henry Costa. Vesely was my co-driver. My producer was no other, but Rufus Divine Brooks. Falling on behalf of the entire crew, would like to say thanks to all of our viewers, all of our listeners, and all of those who call. Our apologies to those persons who tried calling, but they could not make their ways to the line. We extend our sincere apologies. We could not read all of the comments because there's so plenty of comments. My name is Kelvin Demetri. I'll talk to you will be on tomorrow at 7:45 on this program. Bye-bye.
So folks, you listen to the exclusive talk show here this morning in Moroville, being heard by the Prime Morning Drive. On the show has been hearing Dr. Costa. Do have yourself a wonderful time. This is SOK-TV coming to you live together with the Wait. And my name is Desmond. Until then, have yourself a wonderful time.